Hello? Hello? What's up? How y'all doing? Arrived in time for the leak? Yeah, I'm gonna leak all over the place. I'm gonna leak everywhere.
What a way to start this off.
It'll be great! I swear! No, it won't be. It'll be me mostly talking about Neopets again, I think, probably.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, today is my dear friend, Lore Master Cat Raelice himself. For people who may be new to this channel and this show, this is Memory Leak. It's a show where I kind of just bring on my friends and we chat about some of the things that we like, our hobbies, nostalgic things in our lives, stuff like that. Especially like silly little fun facts about things. And yeah, today I have Raelice. Raelice, you want to introduce yourself?
Why, hello. I'm here definitely of my own free will. Kozii did not kidnap me wanting to talk about Neopets.
I didn't do it. Listen, you DM'd me saying you were excited about Neopets. You can't put this on me.
Any screenshots that try and prove this are obviously fake. I don't know what you're talking about.
I will get a screenshot. I will get. I will get receipts.
But yeah, I'm Raelice. I used to do a lot of lore stuff. Now I do a lot of programming stuff. I make stupid stuff, and my chat puts up with me. That's
kind of true.
I also have a lot of music now. That's kind of crazy.
That is true. Actually, for anyone who may not know, all of you, all of the music today is by Raelice. It's Cat Records, his constantly going free royalty music. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll pop the link into the stream chat for you guys. But yeah, it's all done by Raelice. Well, I mean, not done by, but you know, produced by.
Produced by. That's the key word. Produced by.
Yeah. Music's very quiet. Yeah. I wanted to turn down this song a little bit because it's a bit too poppy. You need to get a couple of different stations, Raelice. I need like a jazz station.
We're almost to the point where we have enough. The problem is I have an idea for what I want the album to be.
Right.
And then 3 days later, I'm like, oh, but what about this genre? And then everyone's like, but I want more of this genre. And I was like, but that shiny thing over there, that's new.
True, fair, understandable. I mean,
to be fair though, going forward though, I've hit all the genres that I really want to. So now we're actually starting to produce, you know, more themes that are going to stay consistent instead of just all over the place.
What genres do you all have for him? Like, do you have like a list of them?
I don't have a list, but I do have all the albums pulled up.
Already.
So we have a disco, a synthwave, another, I call them coffee shops, but they're like bossa nova style.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like, you know, the cafe style music. We got 2 of those with the 3rd one coming out soon. We got 2 Kawa albums. We got a Eurobeat album. We got 2 rave albums now. And we got, I don't even know how to describe. I mean, we technically have a Halloween and an orchestral album as well.
Oh my God.
All over the place.
You've done everything. And it's all on one radio.
Okay, so, you know, I'm assuming you're talking about the YouTube radio.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? That's supposed to be taken down.
Really?
Because it was an experiment for me. But it's kind of expensive to leave up.
Yeah, that's fair.
I stopped paying for it months ago. They haven't taken it down. And I'm not going to tell them.
Hey, we can listen to it as long as it still exists. It's fine.
I seem to have
it doesn't even have half the music on there.
And giving nothing back.
Thank you so much, Creeper, for the super.
Oh, super chill, let's go.
dropped a shiny thing and it bounced behind your desk. Can I get it back? No, it's mine now.
It belongs to Kozii now.
It's mine now. But yeah, before I rant your ear off about like Neopet stuff, is there anything nostalgic or anything you wanted to talk about?
Oh, nostalgic. That's a great question.
Old hobbies you used to have. I know I talked to Roy about, I didn't know Roy was into parkour before, but apparently he is. Or like was.
Yeah, Roy was into a lot of stuff back in the day, and funnily enough, I won't talk about it too much because I know he doesn't want to spread around, but I know what he did before he was a VTuber.
Oh, really?
And it was kind of like wait, I know you. Like, I've heard of you before.
Wait, I know this person. Oh, God. Oh, no. Small world.
That's happened to a few VTubers that I know of, like, wait a second. I vaguely remember you as a content creator, like, 6 years ago.
It's so interesting.
How did this get here?
So many VTubers, like, were other kinds of creators before, and you slowly learn about it, and it's like, oh, wait. The YouTuber to VTuber pipeline. For me, it's actually really funny. All of the old content creators that I used to watch and care about a lot just straight up became VTubers on their own channels. Like, there's this one guy named Andrew Arcade who I used to watch all the time do, like, Sims Let's Plays, and now he's just straight up a VTuber. He just came back as a VTuber. He's been doing a lot of like paleo content recently. I think he has still been doing The Sims, but like slightly less. Very interesting.
You know, my theory about that is when people come back as a VTuber, is it just lets them, it divorces you from like the old content you do. Like, even if you like it, right? By becoming a VTuber, you kind of, it's like rebranding. You basically get to be like, nope, this is the new content direction, and you're all here for it.
It's like rebranding yourself as a person.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there's another
it's
person.
Effective, it works.
There's actually another person that I know who used to do like Animal Crossing streams and stuff like that, who became a VTuber, and I found her and I found out that she became a VTuber, and I followed her, and then she followed me, and I'm like, oh my god, I used to watch you all the time. And it's like, technically now I'm a bigger content creator than she is, but at the same time it's sort of like, but I watched you.
Jisagi is definitely right
about
Nick. Astroline.
Nick and Fred.
I could rant about that for a long time though, because Kozii has unfortunately heard of my ramblings when it comes to Frederick Knudsen and shenanigans surrounding him.
You want to talk about it?
Oh yes, I do. Because now, disclaimer: I love Astroline and all that jazz. What I did not know is that people would be so violently opposed to someone who wasn't a VTuber becoming a VTuber. Oh my gosh.
Just for context, Astroline is a newer VTuber agency that was made by Merryweather. And it's got 4 talents in it, including Merryweather. I think, right? 4? Pretty sure it's 4.
5.
5? Shit. 5 talents, including Merryweather. And, yeah, they're kind of just like very lore based and stuff like that, but they grabbed, Frederick Knudsen and turned him into a VTuber.
So for context, those of you who don't know Frederick Knudsen and what he does else, is he is the down the rabbit hole guy.
Yeah.
Very famous / infamous, I think is fair to say, for doing like really long, like investigative essays, I think is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And he had been working on an Eve video for like 2 years. Up until then, he'd been pretty consistent. But he was working on like a mega video. Like it's actually out now, so you can see it. It's like 6.5 hours long or something crazy.
Yep.
But it took him like 2 years to make it.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, 6 hour video.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But people got real pissed when they found out that he was doing VTuber shenanigans when that video hadn't come out, because he has like a Patreon where people support him and stuff, which leads some people to crazy levels of entitlement.
Yep.
And they use that as a way to attack individuals that really do not like, he wasn't not working on it. You can do multiple things.
You can work on multiple things at the same time. Also, VTubing, like, most of the time when people get into VTubing stuff, a lot of what they do is just, like, play games. So, it's not like it was high effort.
It's not like he gave up on his other series to come be a VTuber. No,
it's just on top of it.
Just now also doing VTuber things. But
yeah.
Because I make videos about people, I'm used to seeing nasty crap talked about everyone. I mean, hell, I made a Shy Lily video when she was blowing up, and that's been some of the best and worst content video or comments I've ever seen. People either really like her or really hate her. And that was until Frederick Knudsen. Holy hell. The people who want more down the rabbit hole content are the most vitriolic people I have ever seen. I have learned more slurs by reading my own comment section and deleting comments than my entirety of being on the internet.
Oh my God.
That's how mad people were. And I didn't understand why. Why do you care that much? What is going on with you?
People are crazy. They're making more slurs to keep up with how mad they are.
It was insane. I couldn't believe it. Because like, as messed up as this is to say, I'm kind of used to like people calling female VTubers terrible things.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's an internet thing. I like seeing a male content creator get hit with something arguably worse with like the stuff they were saying. That threw me for a loop. And I'm like, wow, this is like the other side of the internet that I've never had to deal with. I feel so, and like, this is comments coming on, like, I'm not a big channel. And like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not a big channel. I'm primarily a shorts channel. And like, so all of my quote unquote subscribers, like it's not like a big thing. So if I'm getting those comments as like a pretty, like people much larger than me have talked about.
Right.
Frederick.
Yeah. No, I wonder what's in their chats though. I wonder what their comment section.
If I'm getting that, like, what is he getting? I can't imagine how hateful that's the thing I always worry about when I see like hateful comments on my stuff. Is like, if I'm getting those comments, what are they getting?
Yeah, because most of your stuff is just like it's just commenting on that sort of stuff that other people are doing. So like, oh holy shit, what's up with their comment sections?
What's going on with them?
Oh. Seeing flies being attracted to food is nothing new.
True.
Man.
But it's.
Yeah, I feel bad for Frederick. I'm a little concerned about him, but at the same time, it's kind of, I mean, I guess Mary also kind of had similar things happen with like his comic stuff before anyway. Because people would do a lot of stupid hate things towards Mary in his comics. So I guess it's kind of just prevalent through Astroline. They're kind of just used to it.
Which is, it sucks that they have to be used to it, but like, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yes, men VTubers treated almost the same as generic women content creators and social media. It's a funny thing, right? I think there's kind of like a hierarchy. It might go like, male content creators with face cam are fine most of the time. And then there's like there's male content creators who have face cam. Then there's female content creators with face cam who get a lot of hate, but not like a huge amount maybe. Then there's apparently male VTubers who get a shit ton of hate, just for being dude. I think it's a femininity thing. I feel like it's all those toxic dudes who are like, oh, you're acting so girly. It's because it's cartoony. I feel like that's what it is. And then on top of that, you have female VTubers. Have you seen all of the comments about Iron Mouse winning the awards?
Okay. Can we talk about that? Because I hate to. I try so hard. I try so hard to avoid just stupid drama. But oh my God, the Game Awards. I've been sipping so much tea.
Oh, so
I
have
love
I.
it so much.
Well, I'm friends with one of the people who was one of the like many people who got fired this last season from the games industry. And the fact that they didn't talk about any of that stuff at all was already a slap in the face to those people.
This Game Awards was one of the weirdest. I don't even know how to describe like what you were watching, because it would. So there was so much stuff that happened, and simultaneously nothing happened, and they were like cutting people off, like the. Now keep in mind, I love Iron Mouse. I am a little surprised she won.
I am,
like,
and I'm not. I feel like most of the other content creators that were up for awards. Sorry.
Well, that's the weird thing, right? Is like.
Most of the other ones didn't really do that much this year, I feel like.
Like, I could understand why Iron Mouse was picked as a nominee, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I can understand, like, why Quackity was picked, because, like, of QSMP and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, even though he's not making videos, he's been doing a ton of stuff on the streaming side, right? But then a couple of the others, I'm like, this is kind of weird, because, like, there's other people that I would put way higher on a pedestal, and you know their audience is significantly bigger. Because at the end of the day,
it's gotta be like a popularity sort of thing on Twitch, I feel like. Because most of the creators that actually got picked for the Game Awards were just Twitch creators.
Yeah.
So
like, I think it's awesome that Iron Mouse was picked. It was just like the Game Awards was it just was weird this year. I don't even know.
Also, yes, the Game Awards did happen.
Yeah, they definitely happened.
They happened. Though, okay, so last year was definitely worse, though. I watched the Game Awards last year drunk with one of my friends, and it was kind of just like a mess. It was so boring. At least this year.
Was it last year also the year that like the kid got on stage?
I don't even remember. I think that was the year before, because I think last year's Game Awards was just so uneventful. It didn't even have good trailers. It didn't have, like, the awards really weren't that interesting. It wasn't really a good year for games. So it was kind of just
I'm also bitter towards the Game Awards this year, because the only thing I was waiting for, literally the only thing, was Monster Hunter. And what did they show? A freaking cinematic nothing burger. I was so pissed.
Well,
I was ranting with friends about this for hours afterwards. I was so upset.
Well,
like, you can't do that. I hate cinematic trailers so much.
I guess it happens. I mean, it was a good cinematic trailer, but yeah, it was a cinematic trailer. So
yeah, it was a cinematic trailer for a game that doesn't come out for over a year.
Yeah. Awesome. This year's Game Awards with sneak peeks and game commercials punctuated by a couple musical acts. That's the same sort of thing as last year's Game Awards, kind of, except last year's Game Awards were also boring because, like, there wasn't really any good games. And then I think last year was when somebody did, like, a 9-minute speech, which is probably why they forced everyone's speeches to be 30 seconds this year.
Well, unless, of course, you're Kojima, then you get all the time you want.
Of course. Have to be nice to Kojima. Kojima is,
they'll cut off the Baldur's Gate 3 actor who's talking about abuse survivors and stuff. No, they'll cut him off. Oh my gosh. I have very strong feelings about this year's Game Awards.
Also, yeah, somebody was like, they don't want to talk about bad things because it'll kill the vibes. That is kind of what it felt like they were doing the whole Game Awards.
You're not wrong. And, like, admittedly, I get it. I unfortunately do get it, right? I still think some of the decisions they made were pretty
interesting. Oh yeah, the Alan Wake 2 musical was cool though. I was watching a little bit of that. I mean, I watched Evan play Alan Wake 2 and I saw that musical in the game too. And I mean, Alan Wake 2 in general deserved to be up there. It was a good game.
I was introduced to Alan Wake last night by Roy.
Really?
I knew literally nothing about it before that point.
I played a little bit of the first game because one of my Cozy Council people had me get it as like one of my stream things. One of the things that they were like, oh, you should do this. I played a bit of it. It's a horror game that I can actually kind of play some of, but it's still a horror game, so I'm a baby. I couldn't finish it.
That's how I feel. I just don't like playing horror.
Yeah. There's a musical based on Alan Wake 2. You should go look at the Alan Wake musical from the Game Awards. It was actually pretty good. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so man, can I just say, I have interesting things to say about Neopets recently, but there was something that I remembered last night that I wanted to talk about a little bit. On Neopets at one point, a long time ago, like maybe the 3rd or 6th year of its existence or something like that, they did a murder mystery thing that had like actual gore in it, and it was the staff members all getting killed off.
Excuse me? Wait, come again?
Yeah, it was the Ski Lodge murder mystery. It was actually in 2001, which was year 3 on the site, and it featured 32 staff members taking a break on a ski lodge on Terror Mountain, which is one of the places on Neopets. And they had like this whole story for it. And it was one of those things that was like, you know, whodunit sort of thing with, here's the murder weapon, and oh my god, we found it. It was kind of Danganronpa-ish. It kind of reminds me of Danganronpa now, thinking about it now. But, yeah, they took the staff members, and they just murdered all of them in various ways. They just, over a couple of weeks, just murdered the staff. Bubbles was found dead in the dining room on Thursday of week 2. She had been bludgeoned with a candlestick. It was also discovered at this time that the phone line to the mansion had been cut. Cookie was then found dead in week 3, crushed under a pile of cookware in the kitchen. Cupcake was found dead in the kitchen on Monday of week 4, being impaled with spears. This is a kid's site, by the way. This was like full-on a kid's site at the time. Jasmine died on Thursday during week 4 as her heel broke and she fell backwards, hitting her head in the guest bedroom. There was some confusion as to whether this was the work of the murderer or actually an accident. At the beginning of week 5, Scarlett O'Lara was found drowned in the swimming pool. Later that week, Snowflake was found dead in the swimming pool, having her head become caught in the drainage system. They were making up the most brutal ways they could for people to die.
I have many
a few
questions.
Of them. There's so many more on this list.
I have many questions about the main one being why. And the second is,
they just thought
how
it would be
did
good.
they get away with this?
I just thought
this was a kid's site.
I guess they just thought it would be neat. They gave out awards and stuff, by the way, throughout all of this. They gave out like silly little photo things that were little items, and then they gave out like books that you could read your pets and like plushies, and people had trophies for it for guessing like the murderers and stuff.
You know what? Kudos to the dev team. I don't know if I would have been brave enough to do that back then.
Do you guys want to hear more of the ways the staff died? I have a whole list.
Oh my gosh.
I have all of them. That honestly sounds really fun. So, yeah, it sounds fun, but like, no one would ever possibly be able to do that on a kid's site now. There's no possible way.
Well, I mean, I feel like they shouldn't have been able to get away with that
at the time. You would think, and yeah, they did it anyways. Let's see. During week 6, Pop-Tart fell victim to an exploding potion in the hall. Later that week, Sweets died, taking an anvil to the head in the dining room. Shortly after, there were reports of her ghost haunting the area. So now we have a ghost on top of things, of course. Tuesday of week 7. How many weeks was this? How long was this? 16 weeks.
Wait, so you're telling me there was 4 months of murder?
4 months of murder. The Ski Lodge murder mystery, a 4-month-long murder event on Neopets.
I get like a month, but 4?
4 whole months.
Did no one question? Like what?
I don't know. I don't think I was on the site in 2001. Hold on, I have to do math. No, wait, I don't have to do math. I was not on the site at that point. That was too early in the site's lifespan for me to have been there. So I missed this event. By like a year and a half, I think, or like 2 years.
My parents, if I was playing back then, would have done unholy things in terms of like contacting the company if they found out about that.
Yeah.
That's just...
But I mean, who was really checking what kids were doing online in 2001?
My parents were.
People had no idea what most kids were doing online in 2001. Because, like, kids would just get online and it would be like, oh, that's a cute little pet site. That's nice. That's sweet. And then the parents wouldn't actually look at what their kids were doing unless they were actually, like, literate with internet stuff.
I grew up with internet literate parents, so they had trackers all, like, from the inception of computers. So I had to be very careful about what sites I went to.
Yeah, I had internet savvy parents too. 20.7 years old, so that would be early 2003, right? I think so, yeah. So yeah, like two years after.
Don't say that. Don't say that 2003 was 20 years ago.
Well, I hate to tell you, but...
No, don't say that.
I actually have a slightly older account that's 21 years. 21.4, I think. So maybe I was just like a year and a half out from when the event happened, you know? Oh, the year when I just appeared. Oh god.
No, don't say that. It's worse.
Wait, hold on. There's more deaths, of course.
Oh my gosh.
On Tuesday of week 7, Mr. Plaid was found with his head cooking on the stove in the kitchen.
You know, as you do. Just a little bit of nice, head meat.
This was quickly followed on Friday with Dr. Thor, okay, frozen in ice at the same location. In week 8, Bygone Jinx was found in the swimming pool, cut in half with his own lightsaber. Shortly after, Snot was also found in the swimming pool, eaten alive by utility fish. Once again, a ghost of Snot started to appear everywhere in the area he had been murdered. In week 9, Boogie was impaled with Bygone Jinx's old lightsaber, momentarily identifying Monster Boy as the killer before his death. Oh my god, they're identifying killers now. It's been like 9 weeks. It's been like 2 months and a week. But wait, there's more! The remaining staff members tied Monster Boy to a chair in the library and kept him guarded, but on Thursday, things took an unexpected turn. Monster Boy was flattened by a giant Mystery Island tiki idol. Raelice is dead. I killed him.
What? I don't... How did they get away with this crap?
But wait, there's more! The following week,
I know,
Wolverine...
there's at least 6 more weeks.
The following week, Wolverine was hung in the library. So they literally just had some dude like
so
hung
they're
by
just
a
hanging
noose.
people now. Oh, okay. Okay.
On Thursday, Mr. Insane was found in the same location, poisoned with what he thought was to be Kraku berry juice. Okay. That's probably the simplest, like, not worrying death so far. That sounds like allergies.
Yeah, okay, sure.
After beginning to investigate the murders, Lazarus was killed at the beginning of week 11. The swimming pool's thermostat was turned up, boiling him to death. On Thursday, Mr. Pickles was found decapitated in the cellar. Having found the body of Mr. Pickles, Dom Dread was then himself pickled the following week.
What? What are they doing?
They pickled a dude. Yeah, the swimming pool has killed like 5 people now.
That's enough to spawn a knockoff horror movie.
Let's see. So a dude was pickled. That's great. Dave Skorkechi followed not long after, taking a meat cleaver to the head. In week 13, Mr. Roboto reached his end, found ripped to pieces in the kitchen. They're getting more brutal. Later, Rhiannon wandered in the mansion's secret underground lab and was pushed off a cliff, falling to her death. Tiger Catcher followed on Monday of week 14, sucked down the drains in the swimming pool. The swimming pool! God damn!
The swimming pool is the one who did it all along. Holy cow.
On Thursday, Jimmy James was found in the cellar, crushed to death by a falling wine rack. During week 15, Mr. Black was bludgeoned to death with an ornamental animal head in the bedroom. This was swiftly followed by the demise of the Big Spender in the kitchen on Thursday. They don't say how that guy died. He's just dead. The remaining staff members decided to eat... Oh, no. The remaining staff members decided to eat dinner together in week 16, only to find out that the main course was the severed head of Mr. Shankly. With only 3 staff members left, the killer was finally revealed in week 16 as number 6, Adam, was dropped off a cliff in the secret lab by Maverick. The beater saw the murderer and tried to make good her escape. Thankfully, quick thinking allowed her to activate a trap and contain Maverick. Yay!
Cannibalism in my children's game. Exactly what I was going for. Oh my gosh.
Yay! 2 people did get stabbed by a lightsaber by the pool. So.
You know what? They were just prototyping the first version of Among Us.
Are those devs alive? I don't know how alive some of them are, since it's been 22 years since then. What story are we discussing now? So I was talking about Neopets. I was talking about the Ski Lodge murder mystery on Neopets.
This is a Neopets stream. This is what we're talking about.
This is Neopets. It's about Neopets.
Cannibalism and Neopets. How did they get away with that?
You know? They just kind of did, I guess.
Is the only reason they got away with that is because that was like early internet before like news outlets decided to use it?
It must have been. I mean, okay, to be fair, kids at that time also liked Happy Tree Friends. So they got away with a lot. Happy Tree Friends had merch at like Hot Topic and stuff. Happy Tree Friends was also very brutal.
Happy Tree Friends...
2004. Yeah, I guess that was like 2004. So I guess it was a couple years after that point.
I'm still thinking about the cannibalism thing here.
Yeah, there was some cannibalism. Just some light cannibalism.
Just some light cannibalism.
No, wait, hold on. That's not all.
Oh,
the beater quickly alerted the authorities and Maverick was taken into custody. However, as he was led away, he exploded, revealing that he had been a robot all along. As the authorities soon discovered, the real Maverick had been murdered long before the staff even arrived at the ski lodge. The final scenes of the plot showed that the one who ordered the robot Maverick's destruction was none other than Neopia's nemesis, Dr. Sloth, which was like the big bad of the entire site at the time. Like a big antagonist character. They were trapped in a ski lodge for 4 months, yeah.
I have a lot of questions about the mental status and state of the dev team to carry this on for 4 months.
Well, don't worry. I have some information about the mental status of at least one of the developers right now. It's a fun thing, let me tell you. Recently, in like June, I think, the guy that used to run Neopets, number 6 Adam, one of the last 3 that was alive, went onto the Neopets Reddit Discord and just was a massive mess of a person. He was talking about crypto for like 30 minutes or something, and everyone on the Discord was telling him, no, we don't care about crypto, or like, we don't like crypto. We don't care, Adam. You can leave now. And he got to the point where he was like belligerent about it, and he was just insulting everybody and being like, I wish I had never created Neopets. I wish you all fucking die, etc., etc. And then he was punctuating this with promotion of his new web game that he made, Dragons, which is an NFT-based, crypto-based pet game. This happened like 6 months ago. So, you know, the staff was very stable.
I'm trying to be a good stream partner and comment on things here, but
yeah,
I'm really
I saved the juicy Neopets drama for you.
Like I'm struggling to like comprehend the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't seem like real life.
Uh-huh.
But then, you know, I sit here and think about it. If I was a developer that had to obsess about creating Neopets for 23 years, maybe this is the good ending. Maybe it gets worse.
Maybe. I don't know. People also like went onto the Dragons Discord to check that place out, and it was just full of like a bunch of racist, sexist, homophobic sort of commentary everywhere. So, you could add to that, I guess.
I'm
cool. Yeah, I know, right?
I think Blank put it best. This sounds like someone who just got divorced and did not handle it well.
It does kind of sound like that, yeah.
Yeah, but like really didn't handle it well.
And you know, that is kind of what happened too, technically. Because like he left Neopets, he sold it off. And then immediately after he sold it off, things started to get better and like changed for like the positive. And people started coming back to the site again. Because, of course, people were actually paying attention to the site because, you know, it wasn't an NFT crypto pit that clearly didn't have any care behind it or any worry for any of the users whatsoever. So
because it was actually good.
Yeah, it got acquired by somebody who had been on the team for like a long time and who used to play Neopets when he was a younger kid and who actually kind of cared about the community and wanted to make something that the community would like enjoy. Though I feel for that guy because that guy is now dealing with also some of the craziest people ever who have been on Neopets for like 20 years and have collected ridiculous items that were worth like 2 billion a piece and then don't want anyone else to have those items and keep screaming about inflation going down and being really upset about it and then are constantly like in this state of like, oh yeah, you kids have it easy, and like you won't have anything to work towards anymore, and all that stuff.
I used to think that having like a really successful thing was like always the dream. And then every time I see anything like even like brush against like the it's doing really well sphere, I see the insanity of the people who are like who like that thing.
Just look at Animal Crossing.
Okay, I was okay. Look, I know I'm too familiar with Animal Crossing. I was in the black market for a while. Okay. I know.
Okay,
I know.
It's fine. You know, the black market stuff, that's fine. You know what's not fine? The fact that people went onto freaking Twitter and bullied the main producer off of Twitter by sending her a ton of death threats and like threats against her family and like calling her some of the worst slurs ever. Literally just because Animal Crossing didn't come out with swimming or like sitting or like enough store progression.
You know, that reminds what other game did that just happen to?
Or sorry, did I say Neopets? I meant Animal Crossing. Anyway.
No, you said Animal Crossing. You said Animal Crossing.
Okay.
What was the other game that just happened again? And I don't remember what game it was. But it was like that. I think it had something to do with a coffin or something, like Me and You or God, I can't remember the name.
I know what you're talking about, but
it's driving me crazy.
Also can't remember the name of it. It
but
was
like,
the one with
same thing is like it was the one with the the details are
Andy
escaping
and Sally,
my brain.
Right?
Was it?
Crichton said Andy and Sally. That's the one I'm thinking of. She got bullied off the internet and had to sell it. Yeah. I heard about that. Yeah. Andy and Laylee. There we go.
Laylee.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm just like, but you know what? I'm actually like insanely impressed with her just like immediately being like, nope, I'm out, selling it, like cashing in on that negative press, like to the fullest and just getting out. And I'm like, I'm okay. You know what? Round of applause for me right there. But like it's crazy that people do that.
The only game I think that ever got incredibly popular that I don't remember there being a phase of like people completely shitting on the dev, I think is Terraria? I don't think I've ever heard anything bad about Terraria people. Or like about the development stuff.
I would be insanely shocked if there was not
There's gotta
massive
be something.
Undercurrent.
There's gotta be something.
The thing about like the super positive yet still very popular games is I think that there is even more vitriol than like anyone is prepared for with those. But there's just enough positivity that normal people never hear about it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But I was pretty deep in the Terraria community. I don't think I ever heard really too much that was bad about it. I don't know. There's probably still something somewhere, but at least it hadn't crossed my path.
You know, I feel like, man, this is really going to show my age here, but do you remember how Valve did the whole like meet the characters trailers or whatever?
Yeah.
The sniper one has always stuck by me because there's a statement in there that will never not be true. And that's as long as there's two people alive, someone wants someone dead. And that's exactly how I feel about the video games industry. As long as something exists, someone will hate it. And not just like, oh, I don't like it, but like it's their life's mission to destroy the person who made that game.
Yeah. Terraria had a bit when PewDiePie was in his controversial phase where they still collabed with him pissing some people off. Yeah, I think that's probably the only thing that I can think of. It kind of just like the content creators that they were putting themselves together with weren't. But I think part of it, honestly, is the fact that the Terraria dev never said anything online. You know what? Most of the time, all of the people who like develop games that end up with most of the hate have some sort of online social presence. I don't think Redigit pretty much ever did after creating Terraria. Like he was kind of vaguely around, but really not that much.
I mean, I kind of believe that because I feel like most situations people like, especially when it comes to like bad press or anything like that, if you just don't say anything, with how fast the internet moves, people forget.
True.
But the problem is like, as a developer, like if someone attacks the thing I make, not saying something is the hardest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, you're attacking my child, you son of a...
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
But if you have the ability to just, just shut up, people tend to, they just move on.
Yeah. You know who didn't shut up? Notch.
Yeah, Notch he got real loud.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he only gets louder as time goes on.
He does. He really does. He's like the same sort of person as Adam is from Neopets. They're both in that same, like, I don't know. They need to shut up and won't.
And they somehow just get more unhinged as time goes on.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's fascinating. Like, not in a great way, but like it is fascinating.
Oh God. But yeah, so Neopets had a murder mystery. Also, Neopets' old owner is insane. It's pretty good, right? Pretty cool. You love to hear it.
It's so funny hearing about, because I don't follow that many like developers of things like super close. I'll follow like the game development, I'll follow like some of the stuff, but like on actual developer, like I don't really look into them too much. The only developer I've ever done that for was the developer of RimWorld, which, for those of you who don't know, is a war crime simulator, basically.
I have it. I'm gonna play it sometime soon.
It's one of my favorite games of all time. I mod the hell out of it. But someone tried to start controversy with the creator of RimWorld, because this is back when like people using new pronouns and stuff was getting like, that's when like the movement first really started, and people were really fighting for that in video games, and someone was trying to make a smear campaign against the creator of RimWorld because, you're a guy or girl, like that's it. There's nothing else. And they're like, how could you only program this in, and he's just like, because I can put it as a 0 or a 1.
True.
But
I think I remember this controversy. I feel like I saw this.
He's like, because the gender variable is binary, there's only 2 options. He's like, but I'll add another one. He's like, so he changed the framework because it took him like 30 seconds. And then because it wasn't just like one post. This person was like gunning for him, putting article after article. And he's just like, it's probably a good idea to update this code. And then he did, and then said nothing else after that. And I'm just like, my man.
Oh my God.
He just didn't. It like I can totally see how, like, if I was in his position and someone was coming for me, it's so hard to not get defensive. And I know when I get defensive, I say stupid things.
Yeah.
Because
same.
I mean, it's human nature, right? Like, if someone attacks you, there's a reason why your first your gut reaction is to fight back or get the hell out, but you can't always
fight
run.
or flight.
Yeah, it's just fight or flight. Like that is your programmed reaction to any source of conflict.
Yep.
And ignoring that and doing the smart thing is really hard.
It's really hard. Fight or flight, and I am a flightless bird. Oh my god. Mailbox, don't fight people. Stop. Don't do it.
No, fight everyone. Fight
Don't
everyone
do
all
it.
the
Don't
time.
fight people.
Man, that used to be
No,
my
stop
opinion.
fighting.
It's just fight everywhere. And then I was like, God, I'm old now. I don't want to fight people. I just don't care. Go away.
I did always used to like jokingly go, you want to fight? You want to go? You want to fucking go, bitch? Oh, come over here. Come over here. You want to go? I would do that
And
all the
someone's
time.
like, yeah, I want to go. It's like, okay, well,
Oh,
you know,
well,
you
shit.
just win.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
gonna go
I
take
gotta.
a nap. I got things to do.
I got some stuff
to see.
and
You know, the retirement home's playing bingo. I think I can, you know, sneak in on that.
the 1, 2,
Oh
buckle
my
your
gosh.
shoe. Oh my god.
If
Yeah.
someone hit me with that, I think I would just, I don't know how I would react. I wouldn't be ready for it.
Yes.
It would stunlock me for sure.
Some devs have gotten crazy these days. Though then again, I mean, also the gaming industry in general has gotten so weird. I mean, I think the Game Awards is a good example of that. Just like it's so commercialized in like a weird way. Was the movie industry like this before? I don't know if the movie industry went through such like a heavy commercialization era. I don't remember.
I think it did. It was just like it was before our time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like movies have been around for forever, and like so has endorsements and product placement, right? It's kind of funny because I feel like all the industries that we partake in are just varying steps behind the music industry.
Yeah, everything
The
goes in
music
like a
industry
loop.
was first.
Yeah.
Because I was actually thinking about this the other day because like this happens even in like the streaming industry.
Yeah.
Because streamers are at a certain point and VTubers are like 3 years behind them.
Yeah, no, I wanted to do like you know how I do like those discussion videos sometimes? I wanted to do one kind of recently or like soon, just talking about agencies and the fact that like all VTuber agencies are kind of just following the same like MLM scheme sort of thing as was on YouTube before. Because I've seen so many new agencies pop up lately, and I trust zero of them.
It's funny though because it's so true. Because like I feel like 2 years ago, which is I think when like the agency boom really happened, because it was like right as VTubing was like really hitting its peak. Like we saw just agencies everywhere, and
Yeah.
all of them were scams.
Yep.
All of them. But then, you know, it got a little like there were still new ones popping up here and there, but it was pretty much like whack-a-mole. Like they were popping up less often than they were just dying.
True.
And I feel like for the most part this year, outside of like a couple big fireballs, you know, looking at you, Wachter.
Not
We
even
haven't-
Lactor. I mean, freaking Bond lately too.
Yeah, there's a lot. But like I feel like outside of a few big flames, like there hasn't been a whole bunch until the last half of this year. And it's like, all right, guys, who's ready for agencies Mark II? It's like, no, we don't.
Yeah, it
No.
feels like so all of the drama is coming out about a bunch of agencies, but then at the same time, I have seen, I think, like 15 different agencies start in the last like 2 weeks to 3 weeks, maybe.
It's
Just on Twitter. Not all of them are
It's
getting
so
that popular,
fascinating.
but because my Twitter feed is so trended towards certain topics, I see a bunch of the new agencies pop up. So I'm like seeing all of them, and they're all like, "Wow, you can join us now. We're hiring," or like, "Wow, we're debuting new talents," and stuff like that. And it's all kind of the same stuff, and then they kind of just disappear.
well, they'll go quiet, and then like 6 months from now, all of the talents will put out a joint statement saying how terrible it was,
Oh my god.
and then they'll join a new one.
Yeah. Yeah,
That-
also that's another thing. All of the VTubers that are in agencies seem to just rotate through agencies.
Which like I guess like if you're getting if you're actually getting paid by these agencies, I guess I get it, because doing things by yourself is scary and unsure, and I actually, I think those two adjectives sum up the entirety of the experience. But like,
low battery, I can't name anything, but I will tell you that even some of the larger small agencies don't make money. I'm not naming anybody, but I'm just saying, even some of the larger of the smaller agencies, like not counting Vshoujo Hololive Nijisanji, some of the ones that are not that far down the lists don't make money. There's no profit.
And the other crazy thing, though,
some people are spending millions on ads.
that hurt my soul a little bit, but
yeah.
That aside, the other crazy thing is, like, due to the nature of how VTubing works, I feel like you can make money. Like, a lot of these agencies probably make money for the first month.
Yeah.
Because
for the first month, they
statistically,
probably do.
Statistically, like, the first month of a VTuber's existence is awesome.
Yeah, true.
And then it goes downhill real quick.
Yeah, which is also probably why so many VTubers rotate through different agencies, because if they rotate through an agency and they get a new model assigned to them, then they can do another debut and it can be awesome again for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, always chasing that high.
Yeah.
But the whole agency thing is just so interesting from, like, because I have a pretty heavy business background, like being higher up in like in a business that's been around for a long time, seeing financials and stuff. And it's, whenever I see these new companies come out, or even like existing companies, my first thought is like, okay, how are they actually making money?
Yeah.
And because, like, people will see like super chats flying over the place, or, you know, merch will sell out, but it's like, what does sell out mean? What, like, how many were there actually?
Yeah.
Like,
did you sell out of like 5 or 10?
Because it's like, I'm going to use Makeship as an example here, like, but with some alterations. So let's say I'm Makeship, right? And they agree to make a plushie for me. You have no idea how many I have to sell.
Yeah.
To make that happen. But let's say, for, you know, because again, I'm smaller and lower on the totem pole of like concurrent viewers and stuff. Let's say I have to sell 10 of these. Like, that's it, 10. And for some reason, I actually managed to sell all 10 plushes. I get to have the marketing bump of saying, oh, guys, I sold out, and talk to the company and be like, hey, can you make like 5 more? I think I can sell like 5 more. And then, you know, you have a mad rush of people to, well, mad rush, quote unquote, of like, oh, I missed out, I gotta buy it. But you get to keep on reliving that high of like, oh, guys, we sold out twice already. We're only gonna make a few more. And I feel like so much of the agency world is that fluff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've done it too. So I had my summer merch drop, right? That had my standee and my hand fan and ice cream keychain and stuff like that. I did pre-orders at the time when we were first like trying to get them ordered and stuff. And then like just a couple weeks ago, I think like 3 weeks ago or something like that, we put more stock up on the site because it was like, oh, well, we ordered some extra. We have some in store now. Buy now before it's gone, sort of thing. But like, we didn't tell anyone that we were gonna have any in stock later on. We didn't say anything. It was just like, oh, well, we're doing pre-orders now. If you want to get it now, you better get it now, because otherwise you might not get it again. And that happens like everywhere.
Yeah, like, and like, that's not me throwing shade at companies for doing that. Like, it's a way of doing business.
Yeah.
You know? And it's a lot of I tried to use a big word in my mouth, didn't like that.
Obfuscation.
Obfuscation.
Yeah,
there we go. And like
By the way, you guys can pick up my summer merch. It's low stock, but there's still some left if you would like it.
go buy the summer merch.
I do.
It's all a shill.
I am actually really excited to get that hand fan though. I really like hand fans. I have my Vesper hand fan that Mailbox gave me at Anime Expo sitting next to my desk, and I just use it. It's not even hot. I just like waving it around. I don't know.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. More. Who knows?
Who knows?
I do declare. I guess it is kind of like that. I do declare using my hand fan.
I do declare. But it's so interesting to that's why it's so hard to gauge. Like an industry or an agency specifically can seem like it's doing so well and just not be like, it's just not.
No, yeah, there's I bet that there are a ton of technically, like, I've gone through and I've seen, or I've checked different numbers for VTubers before, just to be like, okay, so I like having like a gauge of a pulse of the industry, I guess, like keeping tabs on some of it. So I've checked to see like growth ideas, like who's actually growing, what percentage they're growing, sort of stuff like that, and like what agencies they're tied to and all of that sort of stuff. And when you actually look at the numbers, like most of the growth percentages for things are closer to like 3 to 5%. Like it's not a lot of growth, but they make it look really good.
That they do. That they do.
Yeah.
And like even the people, I'm gonna use Rin Penrose as a example here because she's kind of an exception to all this. Is like she had, for all intents and purposes, meteoric growth.
Yeah.
And like
her and Lopi both got off really good with shorts.
Yeah. But more importantly, they've managed to keep like their viewers from shorts, which is notoriously difficult to do.
Yeah, really hard.
But like that, Idol gets to use Rin as their poster child of like, haha, this is what can happen. Whereas like, you know, if you actually look at all of Idol, and this is not meant to throw shade at Idol specifically.
No, Idol's
just
great.
a good
I love
example
Idol.
of what we're talking about. It's just like Rin is so many leagues further than everyone else at Idol.
Yeah. And even when they've tried to do similar, like you can see them trying to do like shorts that are of similar style to Rin with other VTubers, but it just hasn't worked as well for them.
Yeah, so like Rin hit the jackpot, but other people trying to do the same thing have not. But like it just kind of leads all back to this obfuscation of Rin gets to be the success story. Yeah. And everyone knows Rin, so they get to believe in that success story.
Yeah.
And they get to use that to great marketing results.
That's also same with like Pippa from FaZe, or like there's I think there's just a VTuber kind of from most of the agencies that I know better that is larger. Like also Cherry from V Reverie is doing really well. I think she's about to hit 100K. So it's kind of just
honestly,
like one person.
I feel like every agency needs one of those.
Pip and
like,
Tenma. Oh yeah, Tenma too. Tenma's also doing well.
Tenma's there.
Tenma didn't do as well at first though. It was Pippa at first, and then I think that Tenma kind of latched on to Pippa, and then they grew together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rin does know what she's doing. That's true. Like a golden hand of advertisement. Yeah. But yeah, everyone kind of needs that. Yeah. Because it helps to have the success story and push off of that. But there's so many agencies that are just popping up because they see like the successful other agencies and they're like, I want to make money. And I don't think any of them are making money.
And they're all trying to recruit the next like Rin.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like I don't, when it comes to like hiring talent, especially for like streaming talent, you know, this coming from the cat who talks about Niji Sanji auditions way too much. It's almost impossible to see, like, if that, like, you can hire someone who you think is going to be really, really good, but they still might flounder under, you know, whatever rules you put them on.
Yeah, true.
And, like, I do think that Rin specifically had the experience to make it big, but there have also been plenty of others who are in Niji Sanji who had arguably as much, if not more, who have not been able to see that level of success and are expected to do that for these new agencies that are popping up.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you're really good, you can't always replicate the success you've had in the past when you're doing something new.
Well, I mean, not only that, some of the time it's just timing. Like, sometimes I don't think that, I don't know if Lopi or Rin could replicate their success anymore. I think the time has kind of passed.
I mean, this might be a hot take. I don't think that if they were to try what they did, you know, last year today, that it would have been pop. I mean, I can say that about myself. Like, my stupid lore recaps that I do, like, I don't think those would pop off like they did today. I mean, they don't pop off like they did today.
Yeah, people cared more about lore before. I don't think they really care about lore as much anymore. It's kind of like shifted. It's funny because at first VTubing was like, oh, it's all lore and characters and stuff like that. And now people are getting to the point where it's like, actually, I don't want to watch a character. I just want to watch like a person. And I want like honesty and stuff again. So people aren't as into lore anymore. That's what my perspective on it is, I think.
Tell me actually, I think hits the nail on the head here with that is, I care about lore after I'm invested in the VTuber.
True. And fair.
This might also just be a hot take. I think that people in general are less in. I don't think VTubing is dying. I think far from dying. I think it will continue to slowly grow.
No, yeah, I don't think it's dying at all.
People are less interested in the concept of a VTuber.
It's not like, as novel.
They're not looking for VTubers. They're looking for content creators. And now if they come across one that is a VTuber, they're like, oh, it's just a thing. It's a normal thing now. And I think that's why a lot of the hype, or like why a lot of people feel that like VTubing is becoming less less watched or less spectacular. It's not because it's actually dead or dying. It's just, I think the spectacle is gone.
Yeah,
from
it's
like
different now.
From what being a VTuber is, and like now the actual stuff you're doing, which arguably should have mattered in the first place, matters more. But this actually just kind of loops back to what I was talking about, how like I feel like the VTubing sphere is just a couple of years behind like the streaming sphere.
Yep.
Because I can think back to like, you know, a couple of years ago in streaming where someone doing something brand new, everyone was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah, I feel like that happened with Among Us, kind of, because that was kind of when the idea of like friend groups with streaming got a little bit more popular, with like constant content with the same group of people. It was like, oh my God, everyone's all playing the same games together. And then that became like commonplace, and now nobody cares.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. It's just the natural evolution of things is, you know, something new, well, perceived new will hit a scene, and then it, you know, it'll slowly normalize, and then, you know, you have to innovate. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. No,
I think it's good.
It just is what it is. But
I'm more worried about agencies. I'm worried that agencies are gonna go the same way as what was it called? Defy Media. Do you remember the Defy Media thing? Where like they owned a bunch of different channels like Smosh and stuff like that. And then a bunch of YouTubers all started putting out videos at the same time being like, hey, so we lost thousands of dollars and we're out of the job now and we got abandoned, and they kind of just, they didn't even email us to tell, they just told us, hey, by the way, the company is dead now, goodbye. And they didn't say anything, and they didn't try and give us our money, and they just left. They just pulled the rug and ran.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm worried that most of these small agencies that are popping up are gonna end up the same as Defy Media.
Okay, so
they're gonna make what money they can, and then I feel like they're gonna run.
It's probably been enough time I can tell this story. It's not like the person inside of it can get mad at me or anything. But I've personally witnessed this because me and a friend have known about this agency whose name I will not name because it'd be way too easy to find. They kind of had a spectacular blow up by all of the talents coming out and bad mouthing them, telling them basically how narcissistic this person was and how they conned the member, because one of the members was like an artist. They basically got her to do all the artwork and branding for free. Good Lord.
I feel like that's what would happen to me if I wasn't as like, if I was younger than I was. I feel like I would get put in that situation.
Yeah, and like the models he gave them were like VTuber Studio models that like weren't. And what I know, VTuber Studio has like a negative connotation. A lot of people can do a lot of good stuff on it, but like when I say VTuber Studio model, I think we all know the quality that the guy with the hoodie. That quality in now. Yeah, basically that, but recolored, right?
Guy with hoodie, and but like, with really yellow blonde hair.
Like he also got the members to help pay for like the initial setup by promising them quote unquote stakes in the company.
Oh my God.
With a contract that was like missing words and misspelled. But like, you know, you're talking to people who have no knowledge of contracts, like at all. So it's like super easy to take advantage of. And it's just like this is the unfortunate reality of like many of these companies is you're going to get promised the world. And as long as you keep that promise in your mind, you are so much more willing to do things that you really should not do.
True. Yeah.
Like giving up. It's like, oh, well,
you're willing to make way more concessions and just like do things for people if you think that they have your best interests at heart. Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep it real with you. Just like as someone who works in a company who's had to make tough business decisions, you should always assume the company is not on your side.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you're best friends with like the owner or, you know, you're best friends with your boss. You should make any decisions based off of it's you versus them.
Yeah, I mean, you know how people say you shouldn't work with family or you shouldn't work with like your significant other, stuff like that. It's kind of the same thing. Because I mean, everybody in business is always just kind of thinking for themselves and how they can support themselves and how they can continue on and like make a profit of some sort. So, and you have to do that because you have to survive. So it's just.
And like, I know that sounds super negative and like super like mean and self-serving, but like on the same foot, that doesn't mean that you can't have good business relationships.
Yeah.
In fact, the best business relationships are when you're on the same page. Like you're getting this, I'm getting this. And like, you're both okay with that.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Nah.
Especially when it comes to business. Because it's just the problem is it's so easy for a company to leverage its power and its role in your life against you.
Mm-hmm.
So any decisions you have to make, like you need to keep that in mind. Because again, I've had to make tough decisions as someone's boss. I have had to fire many people.
Yeah.
At once. Did I want to do that? No. But I'm working for the company. The company must survive.
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's because with the same mentality you have, where you need to make the best decisions for you, the people on the other end are also making that same decision. Now, putting moral corruption and other things aside, because that's always a question, is like if a business makes a decision because it thinks it has to survive, that's the same mentality you have to make when dealing with them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're usually the replaceable one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're not the boss, that's how you have to view things. Is if you're not the top of the food chain, you can be removed.
Yep. Unless you're offering something that they just can't replace in some way, or like something that's going to sustain them, or so on.
Yeah, like it's just you got to always keep in mind your own bargaining power, and that's the real victim of all these new agencies. Is a lot of these people are joining them with they're putting all their chips on the table for this new company to just grab as many as they can, and then get out.
Yep. Yeah.
And they will use you for as long as they can.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I mean, people were talking about, like, how do we forget about Defy Media? Also, that's something else. Since all of this kind of already happened in the YouTube sphere, it all happened, like, within the last 5 to 10 years. So it's older. So people on the internet have forgotten, so they can do it again.
Yep. It never goes away.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's kind of a lot of the agencies that are popping up that are smaller American-run agencies that are very suspicious and don't have any information and are asking for like your social security number and stuff like that. I bet a lot of those are the same ones that popped up to try and manage YouTubers in the past.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have a mindset like if it's cartoonish, it's probably not as serious, and they perceive like that information on the unconscious. That's true. Yeah. When people look at VTubing, they're like, oh, this is a cartoon. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. But like also, this is business. These are like people's lives and livelihoods. There are people behind the cartoons.
I keep saying this, but I genuinely just feel like VTubing as a whole is like just a couple years behind the rest of the internet, because
it is.
We had that YouTubers had this exact same face, literally the exact same, all the same thoughts.
Well, it's the same with Twitch too. Twitch is a few years behind YouTube because Twitch is just getting into their era of like having to deal with DMCA stuff and the music industry going after their ass. And YouTube already did that with the Adpocalypse.
It's just it's so funny to like, because you can so clearly see it happen in real time.
Yeah. YouTube's
here. Twitch is like 3 or 4 years in the past.
Yeah.
And then VTubing is another 3 or 4 years in the past behind that.
Yeah.
And it's just we're gonna see all these terrible things happen. But on the flip side, we'll also get to see like the people who managed to weather that storm and come out on the other side. They're gonna be big.
True.
They're gonna be the huge ones.
Also, you joke about becoming a storytime VTuber. Hold on, but the progression of YouTube, you gotta remember, right? The progression of YouTube was like memes, and then people started doing gaming, and then after the gaming came the bloggers. So we are about to enter the VTuber blog era, and actually, I've already seen it happening because I've seen a lot more VTubers that are doing like either shorts that are more blog related, or they're doing like commentary videos more often. I've seen a lot more VTubers get into like commentary stuff lately.
I forgot we are entering the commentary era.
Yep. We're entering the commentary era. And then after the commentary era, we might enter into the era of like events and shows and stuff like that. I think that's what come next. It's hard to tell.
I forgot because like, okay, I'm gonna say this just because I know he's a controversial figure, but like Depressed Nisagi put out a video recently about the word literally just slipped out of my mind. The word we just said. Commentary. Oh my gosh. My brain short-circuited for a second there. Oh my gosh. about the rise of commentary VTuber. And like there's because there's a lot of them.
There's a lot, yeah. There's I don't know
there's
if
a
you guys
ton.
have checked them out recently, but there's actually a bunch of commentary VTubers that have popped up lately. I mean, I know Yam is one of them. I know Mr. Underhill has been doing some stuff lately. Oh, I can't remember her name right now, but there's one of them that's been doing things about like the rise of Suisse and stuff like that. Oh God.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I don't remember the name, unfortunately. But
Oh,
yeah. Not
shoot,
Mari Yume, but there's another one. But Mari is one of them too, yeah. Mari was kind of ahead of her time with that, though.
She was, yeah.
Mari started
But, like,
out more with commentary.
It's just fascinating because like I watched that video, and then I thought back to like me 5 years ago of like watching people like Omni or watching people like oh shoot, what was the one, there was one drama I was super heavily invested into that was like commentary. It was like Chaos 555 or something.
Oh my God, I know that name. I don't know what they did, but I know that name.
But like there was a huge stupid commentary drama about that, but like that was my life like 5 to 6 years ago, was like all this commentary stuff everywhere. And now it's hitting the VTubing sphere.
Yep.
Because we're just behind everything.
Chaos
555.
Chaos 5.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. I know that name. I don't know what they do. I just recognize that name deeply on a vitriolic
level. I could send
level.
you a screenshot of one of their videos and you'd be like, oh my God, it's that person.
Yeah.
But
and also Mari's been talking about like trying to get into blogging lately, trying to figure out what to do for like blog videos. So VTube bloggers coming up.
Entering the Casey Neistat era.
Yep. I don't even know what people would do for VTube blogging, but I've honestly wanted to figure out what to do. I want to kind of do a blog like that, like a vlog VTuber thing, but I don't know what it would be. I don't know if it would have to be like acted out or if it would be like just like a day in the life of a VTuber or like what kind of programs I've been using lately. I don't know. I don't know,
but I personally am excited to see things change. Because I am quite open with my criticisms of the VTubing sphere. I don't think anyone's shocked by that revelation.
Yeah.
But that's also just because I like it so much, like obviously.
Same. Also, yeah, Yam does do more on the design side. That's true. I was literally talking about all of this kind of stuff earlier with my friend, by the way. Like, I guess that's why this is so on my mind and it's swerved in this direction. But yeah, just like vlogs and commentary, stuff like that seems like it's really popping up a lot more lately. And it's kind of like not overwriting normal VTuber content. Normal VTuber content still exists, but it's going farther than normal VTuber content, I think, because there's less of it. So people are making a name for themselves easier.
I just think it's more approachable. Because a lot of VTuber content, and I'm going to use the word content in quotes, to show that is like a lot of it is gaming or...
Yeah.
Mostly gaming, but like a lot of it is also like the just chatting content, which is great for like talking to your community, but no one else gives a crap about that.
Yeah,
it's hard to be like imagine pitching that to your friend, right? It's like, guys, I need you to watch this streamer. So, okay, what do? They talk to you for 3 hours. Okay, but what do they do?
I mean, but at the same time, though, like, people are so lonely lately that would actually hit some people. And some people would be like, yeah, okay.
True, but
yeah, I'm down.
It's also like thinking about it from like, there is no other ulterior hook. Because like you could say that about any streamer.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's just, I feel like a lot of VTuber content is extremely samey, and that's partially due to the fact that, you know, for as big as VTubers seem to be, they're still very tiny slice of the streaming sphere.
Very small, yes. Yeah.
And so if something happens in the VTubing sphere, it kind of goes everywhere because it's so small. And the other side project of that is like, if something works for someone, everyone else wants to copy it because it worked for someone, and it'll work to a lesser degree for you. But that means the whole sphere feels kind of samey.
Yeah.
And when you do things that are outside of that samey sphere, it gets noticed because it is different. Like even within all these commentary channels, they might all talk about the same thing. And like False will say something different than Kyo, different than Underhill, different than like everyone. That is the thing that's why commentary works in the first place. Is it's your perspective. That is something only yours.
It's got like personality in it most of the time. You get to know a person more just from hearing like their thoughts on different things. It kind of works.
So, yeah, and more importantly is they're talking about a topic that you're already interested in, because that's like even though like you mentioned like people are lonely that want to talk to you. That's how you get like a specific person into your stream.
True.
Right.
True.
But like if you want to get general audience people in, you give them the topic first, because then they're already like, oh, I want to know. I don't know who this person is, but I want to know their opinion about this thing I care about. And so like that's why the videos are working better. But I feel like streaming just it's so much harder to get that in there.
Streaming is kind of rough. Also, yeah, that criticism does still apply to like old YouTube stuff. Like, so you just play video games and talk the whole time. But at the same time, I think that it's a similar issue, because at the time, Let's Plays were the novel thing. Like, nobody did that. Nobody just played games and talked to you the whole time. And people enjoyed that because it was like, you usually watch a Let's Play when you're already playing the game, when you're already into it, and you want somebody on the side. I usually would watch lots of Let's Plays while I was playing a game and then learn things that they did in the game that I had never even done. And I would go, oh shit, I want to go do that. And I would change course and go like try out the thing that they did. Or I would learn things about stats or so on. But yeah, that wasn't a thing that people did at the time. So it was another like novel concept. So it went farther. But as soon as everyone started being a Let's Player, then it got to the point where everything was the same, and it was all like, okay, well, if I have one person that I like watching play, I don't know, Baldur's Gate, then I'm gonna go watch that person play Baldur's Gate and not the other 300,000 people playing Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. So like
psychotic. What's psychotic? What? Watching a game while you're playing a game? You learn a lot about games when you're watching somebody else play them. Like, for instance, I know some things about Dwarf Fortress that people who are watching me didn't know. And I was teaching people who were watching me play Dwarf Fortress.
Nice.
Broke and never had money to buy games. Rip.
But, what you said, it really is true. Is like, Let's Plays, believe it or not, at some point in time were the novel thing. That might be crazy to think about, but like, and you know what's funny is the thing that came after Let's Plays, which are the highlight videos, which are just condensed Let's Plays.
Yeah, and that's what's happening now with VTubing. Highlight videos are getting popular too, so yeah, that's kind of going the same way. Also, same game at the same time is mostly because my brain needs some sort of sound or something constantly going at all times. So I watch somebody play the same game because then I don't have to pay as much attention to what they're doing because they're just playing the same game as me. So I only pay attention if it sounds like they're doing something interesting. Otherwise, it's just background noise.
I remember a decade ago reading the advice, please cut out the grinding if you do a Let's Play. No one wants to watch an unbroken gameplay run of a game.
Yeah. Then people started doing that more. And then that became the norm. And then at some point it stopped being the norm. And I feel like people started going more into like reviews for games. I think game reviews came next.
Okay. So you know what's funny is I feel like this just followed the same pattern as everything else, because it started with the uncut version, which is the Let's Play. It went into the highlights, which is what every streamer ever did.
Yeah.
And then to make it known, you had to start doing a new type of content, which was like the reviews of games, because everyone was playing the games, but not everyone was giving their, you know,
the commentary,
well-edited review. Yeah, the commentary about the game. And then because everyone already had their opinion about the game, now to make the game different, you go into the challenge era.
Yeah, the challenge era. Yeah, that came next. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then after the challenge era, I think it was breaking the game.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you go from challenge era into modding era,
yeah,
which is where I feel like that's where we are with a lot of games right now.
Yeah.
Because like,
but I think people are getting tired of that too.
Yeah, because like eventually you just do everything. It just moves on to the next. I think theories are kind of pervasive throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
because people like talking about their theories of plots and stuff like that throughout the whole process, I think.
Theories probably started showing up around the same time that reviews showed up. Because that's when you're taking a piece of content and cutting it down. And while you're cutting it down, you're also just analyzing it because you have to while editing. It's like, that's probably where theories came from. And like, not everyone a lot of people love games, but not everyone likes to think about the games. Or like, they'll have a question, but they don't have enough of a question to research it on their own. I mean, that's like why my entire channel existed, is because they want the answer to a question, but they don't want to look it up, do the research themselves. Yeah, they want to type in a result and be like, how do I do this? And it's like, oh, there's a funny cat telling me how to do it. I'm literally about to make a bunch of Neopets tutorials. Because the thing is, Neopets is kind of hard to figure out and hard to understand. It's like really old and like, what the fuck do you do on Neopets and stuff like that? You can find it out. You can do the research, but also it's a lot of websites to go to. So I'm just going to make videos. If you get famous off of Neopets, I'm going to be so happy for you. No, I'll be so happy because Neopets was like... Neopets, I guess Pokemon was the thing that got me into art. Neopets is the thing that got me into like coding and websites and role playing and so many other things. It's just thank you. Full circle. Look-y hate that you can't. Oh my god, I also hate that. I also want to do a discussion stream talking about like how searching and guides and stuff have changed, because I want to talk about game facts and how game facts used to be so detailed and nice and it was all in one nice big long guide list for you, and now it's just like, if you want to find something out, you have to go and search it, and then you go to the website and you click on it and it's like, and now let me talk about my dead grandma and how I used to play this game with her. And then like you go down a little bit and it's like, okay, so step 1 is this. And then it's like, it breaks it up with an ad. And then it's like, step 2 is this. And then it breaks it up with another ad. And then... you know what's funny is the thing that you're describing is what I feel like has happened to a lot of like this content, this whole content discussion we've been having, where people like are bloating things because, you know, you can't just do the thing anymore. And eventually it's going to reach the point that I reached. Yeah. Which is you do because, you know, everyone's familiar with clickbait. Yeah. And like that's what I would put that article under, right? Is like, you know, the answer is somewhere in the article. Yeah. But you can't freaking find it. And then people like me come along and be like, this is such bullcrap. And you condense the whole article into 30 freaking seconds and just be like, here's the question. Here's the goddamn answer. Yeah. And that takes off. I bet that's part of why things like TikTok blew up though. Did you hear? It totally is. There were articles about how like Zoomers and Gen Alpha and stuff go specifically to TikTok to search for answers for things now. Because it's faster and easier. You know what's funny? My most successful video currently is a 1 minute. Like I made the goal to make this under 1 minute so it could be on the short, like in YouTube Shorts. It's just how to do the Fujitech PNG stuff. I crammed the whole thing into 1 minute.
People didn't know how to do that. You know what? That's fair. I said this to my friend earlier, actually. Even if you think something is completely obvious to you, somebody doesn't know it. So it still has to be said.
Even if it's simple, like even if it's simple but you've never done it, you still need to be taught the first time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, but like, that's the thing, because whenever I make a tutorial, or when I did make tutorials, I don't care about your grandma's life story, about why this program is so important to you. No, I want to know how to turn the dang thing on.
Oh my God. Wait, Beefy said it too. Video game walkthroughs are in their internet recipe arc. They are. I was talking about that as if it was an article. That's actually something that I would see in like a Minecraft tutorial. But go look at Minecraft tutorials. They're all like that.
I just want to, because I make tutorials from people like me. I don't care about anything. If I have a question and I'm looking for an answer, if you just give me the answer, oh my God, you're my best friend.
I know.
It's the best.
Just tell me.
That's why this 1 minute video is literally just, hey, you've seen this. Here's how to do it. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, done.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole
But
thing.
that's not algorithmically good, because you're not getting those watch hours. And
it is though. That's the crazy thing. That video, that 59-second video, has made more money than any video on my channel.
Yeah, but that's what people convince you of most of the time. Like people try and convince you that you have to drag things out as long as possible so you can stick like sponsorships and stuff in there.
But it's just funny that like we'll eventually get to that era with anything.
Yeah.
Everything goes through the same things where it's like the big version then gets condensed, and then people try to make the condensed thing more interesting, and then they twist it, and then they restuff it with bull crap.
You know what? I'm old enough that I existed through what I think was the end and death of newspapers, and that was also the same thing, where like newspapers, everybody liked newspapers for a while. There were some ads in them, sure, but like it was fine if there was a couple ads here and there, and then suddenly they started adding like ads every other page, or like suddenly if you went to the comics section, half of the comics were ads, or like etc., etc. And then suddenly all of the titles on the newspapers were like super clickbaity, like, what the heck is this title? It has nothing to do with the story sort of things. And then eventually people got so sick of newspapers, they just started Googling things.
And then the bloggers came out. It was like they had their opinion about and then the bloggers transformed into the bullcrap that needed more read time and watch. Like, it's just...
I was present for the end of days. It's true. We kept getting newspapers for a long time, even after we didn't need them anymore, because we used the newspapers for like other things. Like, I think we used our newspapers for something to do with like our fireplace. And then we also used them to help start fires for our fireplace. And then we also would use them for things like if we were doing something messy, we would just drop a bunch of newspapers on the floor and etc. So we stockpiled them for just excess stuff, because it was basically just free paper that's trash. But not messy paper. Oh, we wrapped things with them too. When we moved, we used a lot of our newspapers to like wrap all of our glassware and stuff like that up.
I think my parents actually still get the newspaper.
Really? Honestly, I've been considering going back to newspapers because I'm so freaking sick of everything else.
I mean, everything just goes in cycles, right? It's because it's like just by human nature, we just get sick of the same thing after a while.
Yeah, we want change eventually. Even though people say that
something new.
Even though people say that everybody's afraid of change, it's like, no, eventually we want something else.
Everyone's afraid of too much change.
True. Fair.
But like everyone wants a little bit. Because you will eventually get sick of the thing you're doing.
Tummy is right. The real algorithm farmers are the AI voices reading AI-generated summaries of movies and games. I've been seeing so many things on my YouTube Shorts feed recently that are just AI.
I have blocked so many channels.
Yeah, it's just AI voices that are reading out like Reddit posts or something with stolen content in the background of like baking a cake.
Low key, that's actually one of the things that like caused me to stop doing like lore shorts and stuff.
Really?
Is because I just like I feel like I put a lot of effort into my stuff, but I realized kind of quickly that I could do the exact same thing with AI in like a 10th of the time.
With like no effort, yeah.
With literally no, I could just give it my
Yeah.
script and it would auto-gen the rest. And I'm like, if I'm making content that can be easily reproduced by AI, there's a problem.
Yeah. That's unfortunately the point where a lot of artists are at too. Sad.
I have such a mixed relationship with AI because on the one hand, I unashamedly use it all the time with ChatGPT. Like I cannot tell you how many hours of my life that ChatGPT has saved me in coding. Because guess what? I know how to do a lot of things in code. I don't want to do all of them manually. If ChatGPT can do 90% of it and I just have to read through and fix the mistakes, like that genuinely saves me like 10 hours of work of like, especially if it's something that isn't even like special. It's like, oh, I need to connect to this website. It has a free document out there on how to do it. It's literally just a ton of copy pasting, like basically following the guide. Guess what? ChatGPT does that in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I just go through and fix it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But like on the other foot, it's like AI art is a problem.
You know what I kind of want to do that is kind of shit content that I really shouldn't be considering doing? I kind of want to like get ChatGPT to make like guides about things and then like read them off and then like correct them. Like, have you seen, my dad went on like ChatGPT at one point and was like, how do I become a successful VTuber? And it was like 10 steps and it was all stupid.
That's actually banger content, not gonna lie.
It was all really funny. I kind of want to do that with Neopets. Like, how do I play Neopets? And then correct it.
Someone in chat actually brought up some interesting points about it, but how do you know if it's a mistake? That if you're using ChatGPT as a tool to do a thing that you have knowledge of, it's a excellent tool. It'll get you like 80% of the way there. I will never, ever endorse using ChatGPT as the whole thing. That is bad. It is going to make a mistake. The difference is I know how to program. And so when I'm reading its code, I can be like, that's not right. That's not right. I know what it tried to do here. I can fix it because I've put in the time to learn how to do things. And I think that's where ChatGPT is great. And that's not removing the creative process for me. I view it in the same way of like, if like Googling a recipe almost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is like, if I want to know how to make lasagna, I don't have that encyclopedic knowledge just stored in my brain.
Oh, I also want to do streams. Sorry, I also want to do streams where I ask ChatGPT for a recipe and then try to replicate it on stream.
Have you seen Doug stream doing that? It's so
I
cool.
haven't yet, but oh my god, I need to. Anyway, sorry.
You best be prepared to eat something heinous.
Yeah. It's okay, I've done that before. I do one cursed food stream a year.
Oh yeah.
This year I drank a bunch of ridiculous sodas like corn soda and ranch soda and stuff like that. And then last year, I drank a bunch of things that were mixed into milk, including apple cider vinegar and milk. Never drink that, by the way.
That sounds terrible.
And then the year before that, I tried to eat 2 pounds of taffy on stream. So it's coming up on a new year. It's time for a new cursed food stream.
New cursed food.
It did immediately curdle it. It did. Yeah.
but yeah, tell me, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's like using AI as a tool is fine.
It was too much taffy. I did not finish it.
It's just all the others. You can take it too far, and it's so easy to take it too far. Is the problem, but
yeah. Also, by the way, with that taffy stream, the cursed part of it, because I mean, it's just taffy, right? You wouldn't think that the cursed part would be the taffy. No, I actually
I don't want. Do I want to know the other part?
I told people that if they paid me $10, I would also eat veggies. And then they started figuring out that if they paid me, they could get me to eat the veggies with the taffy. So, like, they had me, like, wrap green beans in taffy or other such things. Eniko did it. Eniko was there. So I had a bunch of veggies that were wrapped in taffy.
That sounds so disgusting.
Well, I mean, you know, I didn't want them to think that I wasn't eating anything healthy, so I had to make sure that they had an option to make sure that I was eating healthy, too.
Taffy and oh, that just sounds so gross.
Yeah, strawberry, banana, taffy, and green beans.
Yeah,
by the way, canned
your
green beans.
Meal.
It was canned green beans, like the slimy, wet ones. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with you, Kozii?
Had green bean juice all over it.
Correction. What else is wrong with you?
I mean, I could keep talking about how Neopets did a murder mystery. I did play that site when I was a child, so I think it all stems back. You know, it all stems back to Neopets. Back when I was young.
Neopets was a mistake. Oh my gosh. I did mostly innocent things like play Nintendo. That's what I did in my childhood.
I mean, I did that too. On top of Neopets. You know, I haven't even talked about Gaia Online in any of these streams yet. I'm kind of surprised about it.
I've only heard about Gaia Online. I've not actually played Gaia Online.
I spent a lot of years on Gaia Online. Good times.
I didn't. So my siblings spent a lot of time on like online games. Like I had a sister who was. I can't tell you exactly what rank she was on Woo's World for the longest time, but she was up there because apparently Woo's World has a ranking system. I actually, this is a point of personal pain here.
Yeah.
But she actually had a more successful YouTube channel than I did for a while, posting those like, you know, like the online, like AMV style online game YouTube video. Like, you know, you've seen the cheesy, like it's set to some music, whatever.
I made those when I was a kid too.
Yeah, she had a more successful YouTube channel than I did for a long time, making those, and that was depressing. But she played the hell out of those. However, I never really got into the online games, but I was a role player. And boy howdy did I role play back on pro boards. That's how old we're talking here.
Yeah, I did most of my role playing on Neopets and Gaia at first, and then I like quit role playing for like 10 years, and then Homestuck happened, so I went back to it again.
I somehow never got into Homestuck either.
That's not surprising. You know, Homestuck was like Tumblr culture, so if you weren't like into Tumblr stuff, you probably wouldn't have seen it. I only got into I got into Homestuck for a dude. I was into this guy, and like we hung out a couple of times, and he was like, "Oh, have you heard about Homestuck?" And I was like, "No, what's that?" And he was like, "Oh, it's this new thing that I've been reading recently. It's very fun. I'm in like chapter 4 or something of it. It's pretty good." And I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll check it out." I binged all of Homestuck in 2 days. I read past where he was at. And then I went back to him and I was talking about Homestuck, and like we got into the Homestuck community together. We did cosplaying stuff, but I went farther than he did with Homestuck. Cause like we did Homestuck cosplaying stuff together, and we went to Homestuck meetups together, but he was never on Pester Chum, which was an IRC client that was made off of Homestuck that was full of role players. And he never, like, he didn't start his own plot threads with Homestuck and create, like, huge rule sheets for people getting into your own setting. And he didn't pay $612 to the Homestuck Kickstarter just for the hell of it, because it was actually a meme. 612 was like a mean number.
You sound so disappointed in this person.
Yeah, I am. How dare you? What the hell? Why didn't you get more into Homestuck? We could have been something together. Anyway.
See,
Yeah, 612. It's 612 is technically... It's 6 and 12 together is technically a thing, and then 413 is another thing. They're like Homestuck lore numbers. I'm not even going to explain that.
See, I don't think I've ever been able to dive into a community to that extent. It's actually funny. I was talking about this earlier today. My relationships with communities is I'm always on like the edge of things. I'm never deep lost in the sauce, or if I am, I'm not talking with people about it. I've gone on fan fiction benders before like that, so I've seen some shit. As far as like my relationship with any other community, because like I've been a member of a lot of what I think people would consider fringe communities. Like I've looked at but not really been in the furry community because I was
I was like sidelined in the furry community.
I was in the brony community technically.
Oh, I was too.
But like I was in it because I was interested at the time at studying like animation.
Yeah, no, I loved the animation. Honestly, My Little Pony had fantastic animation.
No, it was fantastic.
People make fun of that. They're like, "Oh, you were just making it as an excuse. You were just saying that the animation was good." No, it was actually like that good. People did get into My Little Pony for the animation.
And like I watched it a lot because like I don't have any problem saying the show was great. But like I also was actively studying animation at the time. I was like, maybe I want to go into like children's show animations. Like that's one reason why I was in there.
I thought the same about that time period.
But like that, because of that, like I was in the community and I got involved a little bit more just because people I knew were also into it. But like they always went super deep compared to me. Like I'm not ashamed to say like I did go to I think 2 conventions of it with friends. So one of them I went to the convention because I was playing the card game and I was really good at it. So I went to a convention to play a card game. Which is an odd statement to say, but it's true.
I've done worse.
But like I've just kind of noticed that like my involvement with basically any community is I'm into it, but I'm not lost in the sauce in it. I always find things very interesting, but I don't think I've ever really been so deep that I've done like I haven't done like the super deep dives. I haven't done
I think there's like layers.
I'm literally obsessed.
I think there's like layers for me. I think there's only 2 things that I've gone that deep into, and it's probably Homestuck and Pokemon.
I think actually, no, there's one community I was super deep in that I will never reveal how deep I was into that one. But I was really into the Warrior Cats community.
Why are all of the people that I know old Warrior Cats fans? What the hell?
Look.
You know, Honey mentioned Warrior Cats. I'm not outing Honey.
Awesome.
I don't know if she actually read Warrior Cat. Listen, I don't know if Honey read it. I'm just saying she knows about it.
The hell is Warrior Cats? Well, let me tell you, it's a book by... I actually have all of the books.
You know, I was really into like animal books at some point in my time, but I never got into Warrior Cats. I was more into like more realistic animals that were dealing with things like that had more human personas, but that had their own like almost realistic like Watership Down was one of them, which was about rabbits. It was literally just a book about rabbits. It was kind of just like rabbits that lived in a warren that was about to get like mown down by one of the farmers nearby, and so he was trying to like expel all of the rabbits from his farmland, and they were like going to war against the farmer pretty much. There was another one of my favorite authors ever was David Clement Davies, who did a bunch of books about like he did one called Firestarter that was about deers and like the forest getting burnt down. And there was one about wolves called The Sight, I think, which was kind of about a wolf that had that could like see the future or something, and it was kind of this story about a hunter's dealing with the wolves.
That sounds familiar.
I was really into those like kind of realistic but also still sort of fantasy animal books.
Because I read Watership Down.
Yeah.
I have read this. The Sight, Firebringer, and then Fell.
Really? You read them?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've never met anyone that's read them. They were like my favorite books for like a while. I love David's
I just
books.
had to Google them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember
and
these.
Fell wasn't as good. I think The Sight was better, but
the freaking wolf staring me in the face. Yep, it's like, I remember this novel.
That bloody cartoon with rabbits something over hills. I don't know what you're talking about there, but yeah, no, I really liked those like realistic sort of animal stories.
I did too. I had a weird assortment of books to read while growing up because my mom really loved going to like, well, she still does, but she really likes going to like yard sales and stuff and like buying just all the books. We had a huge amount of books in our house from like a very, very early age. So I've read like a lot of weird stuff because when you buy books from other people, you get really weird stuff. But I also read a lot of, oh God, it's been so long.
Sorry for scaring you, Savrin. It's that was the membership. So every day at 4 p.m., all of the YouTube memberships get renewed.
It's membership o'clock.
It's membership o'clock. Every single day at 4 p.m. For some reason, all of the memberships for that day pop up. I never mention them unless people come in with their actual like membership super chats for the month. Good heavens, would you look at the time? I should mention them, but like at the same time, I'm only seeing them on the screen. They don't pop up in chat or anything.
I'm trying to remember the name of this book, and I can't remember it. It was like a whole series. Oh, the other book that I was pretty obsessed with this. Do you know who the Harper Hall trilogy?
No, I don't think so.
It's about dragons and musicians, and it's awesome.
Ooh, I'm looking for more books, so you should write that in my DMs. I just finished a series called the Cradle series by Will White. Pretty good series, but I'm looking for more stuff to read now. I'm reading my best friend's book, and then I'm probably gonna read his next draft, which he just made. By the way, we were talking about Monster Hunter earlier. Apparently, one of the people that reviewed my best friend's book compared it to like Monster Hunter in space, or like space sci-fi kind of Monster Hunter. I can kind of see it too, with necromancy.
With necromancy, huh?
With necromancy.
Huh.
Yeah, if you want a book. Shills my friend's book again. Monster Hunter in Space is a pretty accurate description, right? Yeah, no, I was like, I've been reading it again.
Books are dangerous for me though, because
Same.
So my thing is, if I read stuff online, it's like maybe I'm just old, but like I can't stare at a screen reading things for forever. But you put a book in front of me, you're not seeing me for the next day. And I think the best example of this is I watched Rising of the Shield Hero and then found out I had a light novel series. So I did what I always do when I find out there's a written form of a thing that I'm watching, is I just read the whole thing. Bought all of the books, all 15 of them that were available. And then it was the next day and I had all of them read.
Yeah, no, I've been doing that lately because I've been stuck in bed with my cat a lot, taking care of her and stuff. And so I've been reading books, and I think I read 6 books in 5 days or something. I wasn't really sleeping. I was just powering through books constantly because I was at like, yeah, I was at like the 6th book in the series, and now I have finished the series, and it wasn't that long.
See, did you know? I don't think they still offer this at college classes. I'd be surprised. But back in my day when I was going to college, did you know that they offered a speed reading course?
Yeah, oh my god, wait, I did speed reading in elementary school.
So college, I don't know how they managed to make this a whole course, but I took it.
What do you do in a speed reading course?
I think it's like a poorly disguised English elective is what it was. I think that's probably why I took it.
I see.
Is it let me get out of taking a more annoying class? But you learn how to speed read, and I can read with about a 95% comprehension, about 1,000 words a minute.
You know,
so I go through books fast.
I don't know what happened over time, but I feel like when I was younger, I was able to speed read things really quickly like that and comprehend it fine. But at some point in my life, I started noticing that like I needed subtitles on a screen when watching movies. And then I would have to pause and reverse things to reread the subtitles. And then I started noticing that like if I was reading something, I would have to reread it like 4 times before I actually was getting the information in my brain. I did this like yesterday. I was reading some of the book and I realized that I had read 2 pages and didn't actually retain any of the words. So I had to reread them again. I don't know why this is happening, but it's a thing.
I mean, sometimes you just like, I feel like this can happen with any activity. Like it doesn't have to be just reading, but like you're doing a thing and like you're still reading the words. You know you read the words.
Yeah, I read the words. I know I read them.
Like your brain turned off. And it's like, okay, it makes a compromise with you is what's happening. It's like, okay, look, I'll read the words, but in exchange, I don't have to remember anything. And you're like, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Speed reading lesson 1, read fast. No, so there's actual techniques to speed reading.
There is, yeah. Actually, yeah. Back when I was in elementary school, like I said, we did speed reading stuff. The teachers like legitimately taught us good ways to speed read and like what bad habits were with speed reading. And then we had like, we would do like 10 minutes or 30 minutes or something like that of speed reading a day. Also, don't mind that sound. That was just, my friend wanted, that was my coffee. Okay, listen, I sent my friend my coffee link forgetting that it would put it on stream. We were gonna share something that I bought. So I was like, oh yeah, just send me $5 on coffee. And I forgot that it was gonna ara on stream. Anyway, you get a free ara. There you go, chat. I'm sorry. I didn't get double my goal. So the goals on Ko-fi are weird because they count memberships. So that's technically not goal money. And then also I have to refund a bunch of stuff because I can't do the doggy after all because it's too expensive. Sorry, I got thrown entirely off track by that sound.
You're all good. You're all good.
But yeah, no, they taught us in elementary school like good habits and bad habits, and then we would do 10 to 30 minutes of speed reading, depending on the day, depending on how much we had to do.
It's shocking the amount of words you don't have to look at to understand something.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, you can, if you do some speed reading, you can pay attention to like the first letter and last letter of a word and still understand it. You're still comprehending it.
So one of the techniques that I was taught, which is like it's crazy when you think about this, is if you're looking at a page and like you're scanning for words, you're looking for words that don't look like other words. Because most of the page is going to have of, the, hat, like all the common words. You can just ignore those. Because if you read like subscriber, cozy, good, like the sentence is going to say something about subscribing to Cozy is awesome, which by the way, you should do. That was pretty smooth.
No, subscribe to Raelice.
I mean, you guys are here. I would hope you're subscribed. But like, it's funny how like your brain can just see like 3 words and fill in the other 9 that got you to this point. Because it's like caveman speak, but it works. It's like that thing good. Whereas like then it's like, on this illustrious day when viewing this object of supreme beauty, it's like, okay, the person was looking at something.
Yeah.
Like in your brain just
Yeah, you can cut out all the fluff words. I mean, the fluff words are nice sometimes when you're reading a story, but sometimes you just would rather get to the point, and you can like pinpoint different words to just figure out what's going on.
Yep. The thing speed reading is good at is getting to the point. If
Yeah.
you want the flowery language, okay, you got to take your time, because every technique is just like, is that an adjective I see? Get that shit out of here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Speed reading is interesting. Okay, it has been somehow 2 hours already. I try to keep these not too much longer than hour and a half, 2 hours, because I feel like there's a limit to how much you can just talk about random shit in front of people before they're like, you know, I'm bored.
Well, you say that.
I do say that, but
Look, Cozy, I know if I gave you the opportunity, viewers could come back 4 hours from now and like you'd have finished your iceberg video about Neopets just on stream.
yeah. God, there's so much freaking stuff about Neopets that is just wild.
See, I told you. I know.
The thing is, I think someone already made a Neopets iceberg video. I think I've already watched it.
So make another. I do genuinely think though that Chat GPT, like how to get into Neopets and then correct it. That sounds so funny.
Well, I also want to do that with like how to be a VTuber.
I think that is a banger video.
We'll see. But first I have to make my Neopets guide videos because I'm talking about Neopets a lot lately, and for some reason people really like it, so now is the time.
I think people are approaching Neopets with the same fascination that I am. Because like it's like this world.
It's so
You're
deep
like,
in weird ways.
You're like, it's a part of our world, but how come I don't know about it? Like it's literally the iceberg meme. It's like, what do you mean there's a secret like bourgeoisie of Neopets? What are the barons? Why is there inflation? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's an economy for like pretty much any game or thing out there that's been around for long enough, though. I know there's like a WoW economy and stuff too, so.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, people like listening to just people talk about their ridiculously niche hobbies and stuff. But also, so many people have been getting into Neopets lately partially because they've been advertising a lot more, but then also because
So how does Neopets make money?
they have a cash shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't know
Well, they
about
have
the
two
cash.
things. They
Okay.
have two things. They have
All things
memberships.
make sense.
They have premium memberships, which, for one thing, do the normal thing of like getting rid of the ads on the site, but also do things like let you access this thing called the Super Shop Wizard, which lets you search all shops on the entire site for the lowest price item. You can't do that normally. You can't search like by price like that normally. You can only search shops, and then it'll give you a random selection of shops, and yeah. So there's
Oh
some
my
other
God, I
things
love
it
it.
does. It gives you like scratch cards once a week that you can play with and stuff like that. But yeah, so they have a membership, and then they have a cash shop, and the cash shop has either a lot of cosmetic things, a lot of these fortune cookie things, which kind of like enhance normal other gameplay, like letting you send more scores on games for a day, which gives you more Neo points, or letting you do fairy quests once a day or stuff like that. And then they also have like gacha boxes for cosmetics.
Oh, of course they do.
Yeah, so they've got a
Okay,
lot.
A lot of this stuff makes sense now.
Yeah, they can support themselves well enough.
That's funny.
But Neopets is weird because it's like people go on the site. I watched Miyako do a stream going back on Neopets again after not having been on it since she was a kid, and I watched her basically just like spend the entire stream floundering around trying to figure out what the hell to do. She was like, "Wow, I'm on Neopets," and then it's like, "Okay, now what?" And then she went and for like an hour and a half, I think she played a Neopets Mahjong copy.
This sounds exactly like what happened when I tried to get into SCPs.
Really?
I went on the website for the first time ever. Like I've know what SCPs are, and
Yeah.
I've looked up like specific ones before, but I was like, I want to see what the actual site is like.
Mm.
I went to the site and was like, oh dear Lord. And then one of my viewers messaged me and was like, okay, do you want a rundown of the site? And I was like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So he hopped on stream and lectured me for an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
Almost about how the site works. And
That's
this
amazing.
wasn't like this wasn't fluff. This was just like he described it like this was the basics of all the information, and then showed me like a few of the secret tech, and I was like, I as I'm thinking about this now, I'm like, this is just Neopets but for horror.
Yep.
It's
Also,
It's
you
like,
say
oh.
an hour and a half for a website mailbox. It's definitely gonna be like at least a 2 or 3 hour stream of trying to explain what the fuck you do on Neopets. Trust me, it's not easy. I watched somebody do it actually. Somebody did I think it was like a 2-hour video or something trying to explain the basics of Neopets.
Oh, just think, Kozii. That could be you. That could be your whole brand from
know,
now
right?
on. You could just be
The Neopets VTuber.
VTuber.
Yeah, that's me. The Neopets VTuber. I'm gonna have to make myself
Just
like a
think of
little
it.
Neopets hoodie or something.
But just think of it, Kozii. If you do enough, maybe you can leverage that into the company, making you an actual Neopet. That would be like a life ambition. Right?
They already have
Imagine.
a llama Neopet. Llama / alpaca. It's like both, kind of.
But they could have an alpaca. That would just be the Kozii alpaca. We'd all know it. It'd be great.
Maybe they'll make
you
me
would've-
a skin or something. They have like these outfits that you can put over top of your Neopet. Maybe they'll make me one of those.
Oh, that would be amazing.
The thing is though, if I made cute enough designs for like Neopet colors or stuff like that, they would actually make them. Somebody made, you know, the eye dog? It was this really old robot dog that you plugged into like an MP3 player.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
Yeah. Somebody made an eye dog paint color for one of the Neopets recently. And Neopets actually contacted them and were like, hey, can we use this? And they just took the whole design and put it on Neopets as one of the colors for the pets.
That's awesome.
They've been doing that a lot recently. They've been going through like player created designs and stuff, especially the most popular ones, and being like, hey, can we use this? Maybe I should do a
Also-
stream making Neopet colors.
Mana said something I agree with. Kozii becoming the Neopet YouTuber is the most boomer thing I've ever heard.
Okay, can I I know we're already past like 2 hours, but I just want to say for like, at least for my regulars and stuff, I talked about like making shifts in some of my content soon and going into more like, you know, like survival strategy sort of games, stuff that's a little bit like slower paced, but darker and stuff like that. I've got Memory Leak, which is kind of just a nostalgia podcast. And then I also have been doing some retro games. I want to do more of them, but like I played Toe Jam and Earl with my friend Okus on his channel, and I played Donkey Kong Country 2 with my friend Cube on this channel, and I've been playing Neopets and stuff like that. I'm kind of just dipping into being a nostalgia streamer. Because I was talking to my friend Tier about it, and he was like, oh yeah, you should like try and build up like 4 pillars of your content to work with. And we were talking, and I realized that I kind of already have that, and it all just points back to like nostalgia.
Hey,
So,
nothing wrong with that.
I'm gonna be the boomer gamer.
Boomer Cozy, let's go.
My boomer arc. Okay, boomer. I am
What
gonna
do
play
you say,
Kenshi. I'm gonna play
boomer?
Kenshi too. Kenshi isn't too old. It's not like a nostalgia game, but I think it was 2016 or something like that. Hold on, when did Kenshi come out? Kenshi release date 2013. So it's been about 10 years for Kenshi. They're working on Kenshi 2 slowly. It'll take a while. It took them like 6 years or something to do it the first time around. 8 years? I don't know.
All good things come to those who wait, right?
I will stream Kenshi. I've been like pulling myself back from doing too much of my planned content until I've got my model done. That's all. Because I'm trying to make a boomer model to go with all of this stuff. Also, on top of that, I just was looking at literally my keyboard in front of me is an NES keyboard.
The retro arc is fully underway.
I'm just in my retro arc. Wait, do you want to see it? Hold on, I think my camera is set up. I can probably put up my hand cam. Where's my hand cam?
We really about to see 8-bit code. Oh, I could even
not
join
8-bit.
you on future.
I do want 8-bit though.
I could even join you on future podcasts as 8-bit.
You have it? Oh, you do have an 8-bit thing, don't you?
Yeah, I have. Does this actually work? I'm curious.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, it does. Maybe. Uh-oh. Oh, I think I just broke everything. No, okay, there I am. There we go.
Oh, I'm waiting for you still. You'll pop up in a second.
Maybe it has to resend. Come on. Please work.
You'll get here soon. In the meantime, oh god, it's lagging oh, there it goes. Hey, look at him! Oh my god, I really do want a 8-bit model. I've wanted one for a long time. I want one so bad. Okay, here you go. Here's my keyboard. This is my NES keyboard that I've got.
It's beautiful.
I know. I love it. Don't mind me with my like trash.
I like the buttons the most though. The buttons are just so huge.
I know. I need to reset the buttons actually because I had them set to certain things and they haven't been working for a little bit. That's amazing. Where to find? Just search NES keyboard. 8-bit dough is from what it's. I'll type that in chat. But 8-bit dough. That the buttons are just buttons you can program to be whatever you want. I had them set to be my Discord deafen and mute before. But yeah, I'm basically just going retro. I do need a pixel model. I've wanted one for a long time, ever since like that one person on Twitter was making a bunch of pixel models. I think Sagiki has one of the pixel models from them. So cute. I love them.
I lucked out. I found an artist on Etsy who made a pixel cat which was orange, which is great because that's my other cat's color.
Why don't you use this
So I have
more? It's
both of
so
them.
good.
I've been using it more recently, because I've for my main scene I've also have a filter that I can just turns the whole thing into mosaic mode, so it looks pixelated.
Oh
It's
my
awesome.
god, I love it. It's so good. What the hell?
I love this model. It's like so good.
Also, yes, this keyboard is reasonably priced. Also, I think it feels really nice too. It's got a nice thok to it and stuff. It's a mechanical keyboard. It's only, I think, $100. And there's 2 versions of it. There's either the NES version or there's a Famicom version. And the Famicom version also has hiragana on the keys. So if you're learning hiragana, that can be a good one. I actually like the look of the Famicom one better because it's like a nice white looking thing, but they have alternative key maps. I think so. Anyway, oh my god, I want a pixel model so much now.
Well, I might be able to hook you up with the person who did mine.
Oh my
'cause
god, I could get a pixel alpaca!
They are pretty good at it.
It's so cute. I love, heck. All right, I shouldn't keep you guys forever, but yes, if you like retro things, I'm probably gonna be dipping more into that sort of stuff because there's so many things I want to play on like the Nintendo online service too. Like I haven't even played the Pokemon TCG game yet, but it came out on the online shop.
Oh no! Oh, why'd you tell me that?
I loved that game so much.
I played that so much
Yeah.
when it first came
Right.
out.
Same.
Oh my god!
So they got the TCG thing on there. They got a whole bunch of things on there, honestly. And
I
then
actually
also,
have to make a point to not go on the Nintendo shop very often because if I see nostalgia, okay, this is the worst one. Are you familiar with the Darius games like Darius Twin, Darius Burst?
I think I've seen them, but I haven't played them.
So they came out. So it started off as an arcade game that got adapted into a Super Nintendo game.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of them. There's a lot of variations of them. I went onto the Nintendo store one day and they had the Ultimate Collector's Bundle of all of them for $200.
They've been making so many bundles like that lately.
So I own all of them.
Well,
Because I saw that and I was like, oh, I need that in my life.
it's okay.
And then I
The
bought all of them.
TCG, the Pokemon TCG game is part of the online service. So if you have the like membership for the online service, then you could just play that one.
Oh.
That was kind
I
of
still
free.
probably should avoid it because otherwise I will be lost to time.
That's fair. That's understandable. They also, I feel like, they have like Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages from Zelda on there.
I love those.
Those were my favorites, yeah. So
Were
there's so
you-
many retro things I want to play, so I'm just going to my
Did
retro
you play
arc.
both of them or did you?
Both of them,
Because
yeah.
I only played Oracle of Seasons.
I played both
I-
of them. I think I liked Seasons better, though. Because Din was my girl.
My brother had Oracle of Ages. I got Oracle of Seasons.
I played both
But-
and then played both again when they came out on DS, because if you played both on DS, then you could get a third arc that was supposed to be in the games
Wait, what?
before. Yeah. Because there's 3 deities. There was Din, Nehru, and Furor. And they did the Din story and they did the Nehru story, but they didn't do the Furor story. So they had the Furor story as like an extra, because you could get both of them on DS, and then as soon as you completed both of them, then you could transfer the save data from one of them to the other one, and you would unlock the third version. It wasn't really like a third game, but it had like a whole bunch of extra content on it, stuff.
I mean, you know, you got to go for the alternate ending, you know.
Yeah.
Oh god, that just reminded me of I to something earlier. There was one other thing that I've gone ham on. And are you familiar with the DS Harvest Moon game?
Yes. I think that's
you know,
also
the one that you could hire elves and stuff.
I think
or,
that
like, the
might
little
also
helpers.
be on the eShop for that stuff. I know
I
that they
have-
put the GameCube one on there recently.
I 100%ed that game.
Oh my god. Are you
I
okay?
got all 777 stupid elves, completed a playthrough with every possible combination of marriages.
Jesus.
I
Good
think
lord.
that's like 1,000 hours of my life I can't ever get back. And I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Jesus.
gosh.
Yeah.
But it's for these reasons I'm not allowed onto the store.
It's all
Because
right.
I'll see that and be like, oh, I can do another playthrough.
It's all right. I'll be the one that's tempting you and taunting you all the time because I'll start doing retro content and you'll see it on your YouTube feed and you'll be like, "Oh shit, I remember that game. I used to love that game." And it'll happen much.
I'll just live vicarisly through you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
There we
That's
go.
fair.
I'll get my fix by watching you play it.
Understandable.
All
right. Okay. I should head out. Would you like to shill anything? I know we talked about cat records a little bit. I can drop the links in here again. I also have them in the description if you guys would like to check out that kind of stuff. I'm turned off the music for a second so I can grab the actual channel, but yeah.
No, that's pretty much my primary thing is I do a lot of music stuff shenanigans, but I'm gonna shill my good friend Kozii here.
Oh my god.
Thank you for having me on. Turns out when you rant about stuff for, nostalgia for 2 hours, you never run out of stuff to talk about.
It's true. Honestly, I like doing these things because it's like it's a good way to like find out things that people were interested in over time and like the things that they remember over time. But it's such a deep well of knowledge to pull from. Like years of backlog of games or like events that you witnessed. I was talking about like the end of newspapers, so
Oh, it's so true, so true.
Oh, and by the way, if you guys also have Spotify, I put the Spotify link in the description for Cat Records. I'm too lazy to go grab it. But YouTube is in the chat. Spotify is in the description. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, time to head off. I guess I'll see if we can raid into anybody because I keep forgetting to do that lately. Might as well check and see who's on. And
no one's ever on for me, so I never raid into people. Actually, that's not true. I raid into Niji Sanji all the time because I think it's funny and no one else is on.
That's fair. Actually, Low Battery's streaming, so let's just go see him because he was here anyways.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you again. I'm not doing Memory Leak next week, but I'm doing a Memory Leak the week after that. Basically just talking about Christmas memories, just on my own. So if you guys want to talk about like Christmas stuff and nostalgic Christmas things, come hang out with me. And I'll see you later, guys. Bye.